In a previous video I discussed neutral. Now we're going to be following up with the advantage state. Sometimes when you win a neutral exchange, you're able to put your opponent into a disadvantageous state depending on how you hit them. Your goal in every fighting game should be to figure out how you can go from neutral to having the advantage so that it's much harder for your opponent to win. The primary way to enter the advantage state in a fighting game is to knock the opponent down with moves that do this. In most cases, there are two types of knockdowns, a soft knockdown and a hard knockdown, as well as two ways to recover, quick rise and rolling backwards. If you hit someone with a move that does a hard knockdown, they'll be unable to recover backwards. If you punish counter someone with a sweep in this game, they will be unable to rise right away and cannot recover backwards, which means you're pretty much guaranteed a mix-up unless your opponent is willing to risk resources to get out. You'll need to quickly decide what you'll do with an opponent that is recovering from the knockdown state. Now let's talk about Oki, or your plan for how you're going to open up your opponent once you knock them down. The most common method that people use to try to open people up is to cross them up. A cross up is a move done from the air to trick your opponent into blocking the wrong way. When you jump to the other side, your opponent may think that they're supposed to block the same way they always have since they're waking up into an active part of your move. The truth is the opposite. Let's assume you're jumping to the right side of the screen. That means that your opponent would have to block left since you guys have changed sides. My personal favorite way of opening someone up is by baiting my opponent into doing something unsafe. You could move yourself into their range while they're waking up and move just outside of it so that they think they can attack you. This is called a shimmy. It's mostly used to bait throws from the opponent. You can also try to pretend to cross them up and just block. Sometimes just throwing random moves out is enough to convince your opponent to attack. This last method is called a meaty attack. To perform a meaty attack, you time a normal move to hit your opponent as they rise so that they're forced to block it, helping keep you on the offensive. You can trick the opponent into thinking you're going to keep attacking them and then just throw them instead. This is called a tick throw. Remember, you won't always be able to just run your offense for free on knockdown if your opponent has meter. They may be able to use an invincible reversal, a super move, or even a drive impact if you're not careful. Watch their meter and try to bait these moves out. Some people are super patient and some people will want to get out as fast as possible. If you have the combos to follow up from these scenarios, each of these just lead you into knockdown after knockdown, forcing the opponent into disadvantageous situations over and over until you win. Do not let up on them once you have the advantage. You need combos and good neutral to succeed in fighting games. Figure out how to open your opponent up, then hit them with your most dangerous combos. Your homework for this section is to do 5 cross-ups, 5 tick throws, and 5 shimmies. Do these online because the CPU is not capable of mind games. Alright, so now we're going to do a more live demonstration of what neutral is like. Pat the Flip has made a video called Everything You Need to Know About Fighting Games. It's an 8-second video. I know that's weird. How am I supposed to learn everything about fighting games in 8 seconds? But it's fairly simple. So I'm gonna play this out for you, and then I'm gonna explain what happened. Alright, so you're probably like, what the heck was that? I don't know what happened here. I don't know what I'm supposed to learn, but it's okay. That's why I'm here. We're going to go over it again, this time at half the playback speed so I can explain what just happened to you. Alright, so let's go again. Ryu starts with a fireball. Left Ryu starts with fireball. Blue Ryu jumps over it from neutral. This is how they started neutral. So now it looks like Orange Ryu is about to get punished for being jumped in on and using a fireball from that distance. But he's got his Shoryuken. Don't forget, in Street Fighter 6, Shoryuken beats all air moves. It has air invincibility. And in older games, it just had invincibility in general. So it was a very good tool to use to get people off of you. But people that are aware of that tool can play around it. But that's not what happened here. So Blue Ryu is about to get knocked down for his trouble. So let's see what happens after he gets knocked down. Alright, so while he's recovering, Orange Ryu has gone for something called a cross-up. Pretty much what a cross-up is pretty much you jump on the other side of the opponent. And since you're on the other side of them when doing the cross-up, they have to block the way opposite of what you're facing. They may think that they have to block the normal way because their character is still facing that direction, but that's not how that works. When someone is on the other side of you, you must block the opposite way. That's how that works. So he eats the cross up. All right. So he's in block stun. Orange Ryu pretty much has the advantage here still. What is he going to do now? He baited the Shoryuken. He decided to do nothing. And because that blue Ryu has done a Shoryuken, and because of how unsafe that is, he's going to take a ton of damage. Look at that. He got punished with the sweep. So he's knocked down again. He's been knocked down again, which means he has to do this all over again. He is in disadvantage once again. Look at that. He wakes up. He wakes up into a meaty jab. So what a meaty move is pretty much when you time the move as your opponent is getting up, which means you stay in advantage because they're forced to block the moment they wake up. All right. So, oh, look at that. He got thrown. He got thrown. Why didn't he try to do the Shoryuken again? Well, it's simple because he was scared. His last Shoryuken got baited and he got punished for it. So now he was scared to use it, which results in him getting thrown. That's neutral. You want to condition your opponent to behave certain ways. You know, if they get scared and panic, they may do some move that seems like it's strong, but it's very unsafe, and they're going to get punished for it very hard. That is neutral. You push for the advantage, and you want to stay in the advantage until your opponent dies.